Welcome to Politics Personified, an IG Live series presented by the Personified Group. Our featured expert guest is State Representative Donna McLeod, who's running for Congress in Georgia's 7th District. Let's get started.
Hey, Donna.
Hey.
How are you?
Well, I canvassed today. I did 70 houses in about
Oh, wait a minute. You got to highlight your shirt. You got to highlight your shirt for us. Okay, yeah, Donna for Congress. Yes. No, hold on, let me talk to the screenshot. Do that again. All right, I think I got it. Thank you guys who are joining us, ladies and gentlemen who are joining us tonight. This is Politics Personified. This is our 4th episode. I'm Lolita Hampton of the Personified Group, and we have none other than State Representative, 2-term State Representative Donna McLeod, and she is running for Congress in Georgia's 7th District. So the purpose of Politics Personified is to talk about the basics of the legislative process, because we want to encourage you to get out and vote. Then we also want to share more about Donna's campaign. She is running for Congress in Georgia's 7th District. So even if you don't live in the 7th District, even if you don't live in Georgia, stay tuned, because it's going to be so much good information, good nuggets that you'll be able to take back to your home, to your friends, and again, get more involved in the legislative process. So we're going to give people a few more minutes to chime in. I'm going to chat with Donna while we wait for a few more people to join. Please make sure you tag your friends. Alicia Sweetness, please tag your friends. And whoever else is joining us, please, please, please tag your friends and let them know that we are here and we're ready. Oh, hey, Tyler. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. Donna, one more time for those who are joining us. Can you show us your congressional? That's right. There you go. Donna McLeod, 2022 for Congress, 7th District. That's right. Okay, 7th District. Remember that. Again, guys, those of you who don't live in the 7th District, please still share with your friends. So, hey, Shay, thank you for joining us. Definitely tell your friends to make sure to tell a friend who lives in the 7th District, Donna McLeod is running for Congress in Georgia's 7th District. And of course, make sure you are registered to vote. This is primary election season. So even if you don't live in a 7th District, we need your votes. We need to make sure that your vote counts. So we're not going to delay you anymore tonight if Donna's ready to get started. Okay, we can see you. You ready? I know you had a busy day out there canvassing. It was a warm day in Georgia. All right, no problem. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for your patience. Again, this is our first episode of Politics Personified with State Representative Donna McLeod. She is running for Congress in Georgia's 7th District. So please stay tuned. We're getting ready to get started. All right, Donna, so we've been talking about some great information. The last 3 episodes, we talked about bipartisanship. We talked about why it's important to have a voting plan in the last episode. So this episode, we wanted to talk about one vote, why one vote matters in Congress. You talked a little bit about that, but can you touch on why that one vote in Congress or Senate, meaning when you're in that leadership position and you said you hit that green button or that red button and it makes a difference to what laws or bills are passed? Can you talk about that one vote? Because I think people miss that and they think, well, if I don't vote for this person, you know, this law won't pass. But how critical it is that one vote is going to make a difference on what laws that we have to follow.
So, in most of our cases, we're elected per district, right? So it's a district. Other than being a U.S. senator or the president of the United States, in the sense of a senator, a U.S. senator, they represent the entire state that they're. So they run statewide. Usually a representative is representing one district, but the thing is the total body. So in Georgia House, 180 members. In the U.S. Congress for the House is 400 and I think it's 35 members. And the thing is, when no matter where your House seat, when you push the button, you are actually doing a collective vote. So your one vote is equivalent to representing everybody, because with that one vote, you are actually deciding yes or no on whether a law will be valid or, become law or not become law in some sense. Obviously, the president will have to sign a bill into law, but the process of actually getting a bill to become law means that the members in that body vote on it. All members have to vote on that measure in order for it to move forward to the president's or the in the state of Georgia legislatively to the governor's desk. So that's why it's so very important for people to understand when you do elect someone, even from your district, the impact they're having statewide or for the entire country.
Wow. Are you able to give us an example without, throwing anyone under the bus per se? Give us an example of when one person in Congress or Senate doesn't vote for the betterment of the district or the community. What happens?
So let's take Congress where it's so tight, right? It's a 50-50 split. The vice president becomes the 51st vote. Okay. And in some cases, that's where it comes down to. Let's take this vote for the historic nomination that now is going on to becoming the first judge to sit on the Supreme Court as an African-American woman, of which we are so proud. But let's take that for instance, right? Yeah. If one person in the Democratic Party held out and said they didn't want to vote for her, and no Republican wanted to vote for her, that nomination would have failed. One vote.
One vote.
One vote.
Did y'all hear that? One vote. One vote could have stopped history today.
So let's take this whole the voting issue that happened this session, where the senator from what is the state, West Virginia.
Okay.
Literally, him and the other senator from Arizona basically held up legislation because for the entire country, even though they only represent 2 states, right? But at the end of the day, out of the 50 states, they held up on legislation that could move forward.
Wow.
And that can happen in the House. If the House becomes really tight, in the members, then you're going to see a situation where we could be looking at one representative because basically can crash an entire agenda.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now listen, if you guys have any questions regarding this process and just some, information that Donna shared, please be sure to comment, ask questions. This is what we're here for. So I want to dig even a little deeper. All right, so you use those 2 legislators as an example of holding up a bill. So I don't really want to say what's the worst thing that can happen, but Donna, what's the worst thing that can happen? Will we get another opportunity next year if your term isn't up? How does this work? Because I really want people to understand how critical it is to elect the right leadership the first time that you have an opportunity, such as now this primary election. And when you don't do that, you don't always have a chance to come back around if that person decides to run again. Does that make sense?
Okay, so here's a big thing that a lot of people do in midterm elections. They don't participate. And when they don't participate, then you actually don't have the vast majority of the electorate making that decision. It's a smaller minority making the decision as to who actually will be representing them in Congress, in the House of Representatives, in the state. And so that's where it becomes really, really vital, right? It's people not understanding their role, consistently voting, and why it's so important to vote in every election. And so a lot of times, I'm a Democrat, I'm a member of the Democratic Party. And a lot of time, the Republicans are really basically sitting out there salivating, saying, I know the Democratic members in the party usually don't participate in primaries.
Oh, okay.
And so that actually puts agendas at risk. Or if you say you wanted student loan relief or debt paid off and you don't participate in this election, it's another 2 years before you can get an opportunity to actually vote for somebody who believes what you believe. And so that's why it's so very important that people vote in every election. And a lot of people do not understand that their vote is paramount. No candidate goes and say, let me talk to somebody who is not registered to vote. They're looking for who's registered to vote, because guess what? That's the person that can elect you. And
Right.
what is the candidate doing? They're running to get hired for a job, to serve you, to be your voice. So that's why it's so important for people to understand why they need to participate in every election.
Right. So you said, listen, certain parties take advantage of certain party lines, primary election, for example. And not only that, if you don't cast your vote, for example, in the primary election, you have to wait another 2 years. And so, as you mentioned, student loans, which most of us have to deal with or know someone who has student loans, how critical that is. That is a paused opportunity.
Exactly.
It affects you. Oh my gosh, that is so critical. So that's why that one vote matters. That one vote matters. Who's pushing that button and, you know, stating their, it's essentially representing you, representing your voice, representing what you need as a community, what you need as a district. And that's why it's important to elect the right person, the right time, and when you have the opportunity, which again, we're talking about primary election, which is on May 24th. So, wow, that's something really to consider. How critical.
And that's why you hear me say, when I push the button, it's not just for District 105. It is for everyone, the 11 million, almost 11 million people that live in the state of Georgia. When I push that button, I'm literally saying this law is going to affect everyone, and we are all going to have to live by it, period. When a law is passed, it becomes where you have to obey it, period.
Wow.
So whoever opinion is at the table is whose opinion you'll be living by.
Whoever's opinion is at the table. Did y'all hear that? Somebody need to write that in the chat. Whoever's opinion is at the table. Because no, seriously, you just said, listen, you represent District 105, right? Which House District 105, which is a representation of Congressional District 7, right? That you're currently running for. But even still, you represent the entire state, because you as a leader in this community still affect what bills become laws in the state of Georgia.
Absolutely.
And then once you get to the next level in Congress, which is your goal, then you affect what laws that citizens have to abide by in the United States.
Yeah, roughly. I think it's a little bit over 360, maybe 370 million people now live in the United States.
Wow.
And so, you know, laws matter. Laws absolutely matter, because at the end of the day, those are the cornerstones, or the foundations in which we abide by, good or bad, right? We've had bad laws. It ain't like we haven't had bad laws. We've had bad laws. In fact, we just, in the state of Georgia, repealed citizens arrest that came directly out of slavery. It was an ability for somebody to basically apprehend someone they feel was trying to escape bondage. So it is not like this is not a real thing. It is a very real thing. And so laws matters, and who is at the table, who sits at that table, and who makes those laws will impact all of us.
Wow, that's true. Laws do matter, and we have to follow them. Yeah. Well, there are consequences to it. So,
and what a lot of people don't really always understand is that state law is very powerful law, because if the state law passes and there's not a federal law to combat that state law, the state law stands. That's why slavery was able to persist, was because there was no federal law to end slavery until there was a war. And then, of course, the 13th Amendment to the Constitution saying that slavery was the Emancipation Proclamation.
Okay, got it. And that's why certain states were able to enact it even longer. Okay, and then that's why it was so important to cross state lines for freedom. Wow. Yeah. I hope you guys are taking notes. This is very insightful. I mean, we all are familiar, of course, with slavery. We're familiar with the history of this country when it comes to slavery, but just how important state by state laws and leadership is. And again, this is part of why we are going live every week to educate constituents in the electorate of why it's important to get out and vote. All right, so let's switch some gears, Donna. So we see your shirt, you're out there grassrooting for Donna for Congress. All right, so I'm gonna let you just kind of go freestyle with what's going on right now. What's your passion right now, the current state? Like, where are you working on? What are you focused on? What do you want people to know? Because voting starts May 2nd, early voting. Yeah. So drop some nugget for people who have opportunity to vote for you.
Oh, absolutely. So one of the things I need to make clear, I'm running to serve the people in District 7 because I've lived here. I raised my family here. I grocery shop here. I'm not going anywhere else but District 7 every night to sleep. I think it's very important if you're going to be voting for someone that they actually know the district. And both of my opponents do not live in the district. In fact, because of that reason, they will be unable to vote for themselves, period. Because their name just will not be on the ballot that they have, period. I'm not trying to sling mud. This is a factual, I'm speaking very factual about this. The reason why I'm running is because I've invested in this community. I have been here for 22 years. I've lived in the same house for 22 years. I've done the work. I have registered over 30,000 people when no one thought that the 7th district was actually changing demographically. I pushed the envelope, and the diversity, and to respect the diversity, to really acknowledge the diversity, and to show the diversity that you actually appreciate what the diversity brings. Me being of Jamaican heritage, people love jerk chicken. They love the cultural experience. People that are born here, that's another dynamic in this district. So we have a variety. We have Koreans living in this district. We have people from Bangladesh and India and Pakistan. We have people from Africa. We have people from that are Hispanic, Latinos in this district. We have a lot of variety, and all of it is important because that's what's made us such a wonderful district to be able to raise our family in, because our kids get exposed to all of that. And that is so important to making sure that our kids grow up in a society that they appreciate and really want to be inclusive to everyone. And the things that we get from the fact that we are a multicultural demographic is not like any other place. We can walk into any place and order any kind of food, be a part of any part of the culture. There's so many cultural events that happen in Gwinnett, and you can be a part of it. It is definitely very much our strength. And so for me, living in the 7th has always been a place where I've enjoyed living. And I am running, not a running against anyone. I'm running for my district to stand up in Congress for the things that my district needs, but also what the rest of the country is going to be seeing over the next probably 20, 30 years is what Gwinnett County is going through and the 7th Congressional District is going through. We're there, and we're showing that we can do it. We can handle the diversity, and we can be inclusive, and everybody can feel safe and happy. And because of that reason, we find that our efforts has been, because we've put so much effort in it to make it be successful, we can see the results for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, awesome. So 20 plus years residing in the 7th district, shop in the 7th district because you live in the 7th district, right?
Yes.
Raised your daughter in the 7th district, and now you have a grandson that's a product of the 7th district. So it sounds like you know the 7th district pretty well.
Yeah, my grandson is a Georgia born.
Georgia born.
Yeah, he's a Georgian all the way. So our family definitely has multicultural in this house, because we are my daughter was born in Canada. My grandson is a Georgian, and I'm a Jamaican born. But we're all Americans, and we are willing to fight for this 7th Congressional District, but fight for the legacy of what we want for this country and what's already happened and how we've progressed. And so we want to see those things that we aspire to in the 7th Congressional. We want to see it. We want to see it real. We're Americans, and we are proud of being Americans, and we're willing to fight to keep our representative democracy and our republic together. And so that democracy must work.
Absolutely. Okay, so share with us one, maybe two stories, your greatest impact of working in this district, because you have experience not only as an elected official, but also just on the groundwork, just being a servant leader. So for those who aren't familiar with you, Representative Donna, can you please just share some stories regarding your work in the district, the impact you made? Uh-oh, Donna, are you still there?
I got a little bit pause. Were you able to hear me?
I couldn't hear you in person. I just heard you now.
So what I've done in the district over the years.
Yeah.
So long before I even considered running to become a representative, I was on the ground doing grassroots organizing. I have a nonprofit organization called CANI, Community Action Network Initiatives, in which we've been registering people to vote for over a decade and a half, when no one else thought that this county was actually going to be a Democratic county. We were on the ground making sure we put candidates on the ballot to run so that we could see how we were performing. When no one even thought about it, I used to go to the Board of Elections meeting every third Tuesday of the month to make sure that we started emphasizing on elections, to make sure that we had extended early voting, to ensure that we had Sunday voting. People think that Sunday voting was automatic. No, it took almost a decade for us to convince one member to join the Democratic members on this board to get us Sunday voting. And when we did get Sunday voting, it was the largest turnout of people ever in Gwinnett County history, was that Sunday vote. And we only got 4 hours that day, but the churches organized and they got folks out to vote that first Sunday. I've got the pictures to prove it, that I was there and we made it happen. So everybody's coming now and seeing and trying to say they're coming into this district, not understanding the gravity of work that has had to take place. When people forget that 2018, we did not have any member on the school board of color, no member on the board of commissioners as color. 2018 was when we first elected a member to the school board and a member and 2 members onto the commissioner. And people think that it's just automatic. No. Gwinnett County in the 7th, Gwinnett County is 200 years old in 2018. And that was the first time somebody of color would be sitting on the school board or on the board of commissioners.
Wow. Wow. So when you registered the 30,000 plus voters, were you an elected official at the time?
Nope, I was not.
Now that's important.
I was
Did
not.
you guys see that? She was not an elected official when she registered over 30,000 voters. So you've been putting in the work before the title and the accolade,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely, because if you live someplace, you want to be a part of that place. You don't want anyone to ever say, oh, you got nice cars, a nice house, what more do you want? No, when you move into a place, you need to be about the fiber of that place. You need to live, you need to be able to, when you're raising your family, you want it to be the place that you want to live. And you need to be about the fiber of it. You need to be a part of the ingredient, because that's what it's all about. A community is about the people that live there. You want to be about the fiber of it. And that's why I worked so hard, because I wanted to be a part of it. I want to be a part of the fiber of the 7th Congressional District. And that's what I did even before. Never thought about running. I didn't become a citizen, by the way, until 2012. So, and I ran in 2016. I lost that race by 222 votes, but I ran again in 2018 and actually challenged the people that didn't vote in 2016. And in 2018, they showed up. I won my race by over 4,000 more votes than my opponent. And then my re-election, I won by almost 8,000 more votes than my opponent, because the people in my district know that I will do the work. I've never shied away from doing the work, because it's important to do the work, because people can see who's genuine and who's not genuine. And when you do the work, people appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. So who's showing up and who's not? So you have been fighting and protecting voter rights well before you were an elected official.
Yes. Yes. Well before. Oh yeah, long before. Before I've only been in elected office. Well, I ran 2 years that I wasn't elected, and I've been elected of 4 of those. So 6 years. I've been in the district for 22 years. So you can do the math. I've been doing more of the work before I was elected than after. And in fact, when I'm elected to the congressional seat, I will have more experience than the 2 opponents that I have right now, because they never served in public office, in elected office prior to their election. I have.
Wow. So wait a minute. So they don't have the legislative grassroots leadership experience that you have.
They do not. They do not.
So we go back to why that one vote matters in Congress, because first of all, experience matters, and you have the experience. Not only do you have the representation in the district, but you also have the experience. So you have the knowledge.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
realize
And I
that they
care. And I actually read the Constitution because I had to become a citizen of this country. So I do not take citizenship lightly. I think that 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 ability to participate in such a dynamic country is worth it.
yeah.
It's worth putting that that energy into it, and it's worth fighting for. This is an unusually beautiful country, and I wish that more people knew that.
Yeah.
There is no country like it. There is no country with its separation of power. There's no country that it believes in, that really works towards being a representative democracy. And I wish that people really did believe all the things that is laid out. Obviously it wasn't started with the idea that everyone was going to be equal, because Black people were still on plantation on July 4th, 1776. But with that, knowing all of that, and given the amendments that have been made to the Constitution to give us abilities to do things, we cannot take anything for granted. Nothing can be taken for granted. But the idea and the concept is worth fighting for.
The concept. Absolutely. Powerful, powerful, powerful statement. There is another statement that I think I consider it your tagline. Do you mind just sharing it? You know, the knowledge of voting, and I don't even want to try to paraphrase it. It's so powerful.
So years ago, when I first started doing grassroots organizing and realizing, actually this was when Senator Barack Obama was running, and I saw how excited people were, and they wanted to vote, and I could not vote back then. I couldn't. I was not a citizen, but I saw that energy. And I realized that knowledge is so powerful, because the more I learned is the more that I wanted to learn about American government. But knowledge is such a powerful thing. So it's knowledge the most powerful thing you give to yourself. But the vote is the most powerful thing we give to each other, because we are collectively deciding how this society will represent all of us, not some of us, not the bits of us, all of us. And the only way to do that is when we participate in it. And it's a participatory government. You have to participate in order for it to work.
Wow. Wow. So many powerful nuggets, so many things to just think about in the process and to share, not just to keep to ourselves, but to share so we can be a better democracy, so we can be a more, communion country, and live together in harmony and understanding. And understanding. This was so powerful, Donna. Wow. Wow, I'm really at a loss of words, because so many things that you are sharing, we are familiar, but you dig so deep into the root of why you do what you do and why representation matters. And just sharing your history of what the groundwork that you put in, the work that you put in without a title, and still want to continue to move up to the next level of leadership because you care, because this is your passion. This is what you love. This is what you desire. And I just commend you so much, because, like you said, you weren't even a born citizen of the United States, but you came to this country saying, hey, this is a beautiful country, and I want to contribute to the democracy of this beautiful country. That's amazing. That's commendable. That just says a lot about your character. It says a lot about your intentions.
Yes.
This was not handed to you. This was not handed to you. So
no, by no means. I don't come from any family member that has ever been in government or elected office. I'm the first, and so there's no privilege here.
No privilege,
all of it has been hard work. All of it has been hard work. I've put in the work, but again, I believe this country is worth fighting for, and actually living up to its expectation that has been. To the expectation of we the people.
We the people. Wow.
A government by the people, of the people, and for the people.
For the people. Wow. Okay, you guys heard it. I don't know if she had any more powerful nuggets tonight within her, but it's been awesome. It's been amazing. I appreciate it. I appreciate those who logged in tonight. This is our 4th episode. We're going to come back again. Donna's in the heat of her congressional campaign. Early voting starts May 2nd. Here in Georgia. May 2nd through May 20th is early voting. And then primary official vote date is May 24th. So please make sure you check your registration status. Make sure you are registered to vote. Make sure you're registered to vote in the correct county, okay? And then, of course, when it comes down to District 7, make sure you represent. You heard this beautiful soul tonight. You hear her heart, you hear her passion. Share this live. I'm going to post it. A lot of times I edit, but I'm going to let this flow tonight. Please make sure you share it with your followers, share it with your friends. You never know who's going to be impacted by this. And also visit her website at donnamccloud.com. That's MCLEOD.com. Please visit her website. Learn more about her. And after you finish learning about her and falling in love with her work ethic, please make sure you donate. Okay? Please donate so that she can continue to spread the word regarding representation in District 7 as she runs for Congress. Okay? She's been doing the groundwork. She's put in the work. So at this point, yes, she's earned this. She's put in the work. This is not being handed to her. She's put in the work. So again, visit her website, www.donnamccloud.com. Read more about her, donate, and then sign up to volunteer if you're local. Everyone knows somebody in Atlanta, and you never know if that somebody lives in District 7. So please, please, please make sure to spread the word, spread the news. And you can follow her on Instagram and learn more about her as well. She has YouTube, she has Facebook. I'm going to put in all her plugs. She's got a Twitter account too. But please, the campaign cannot flourish without your donation. So if you can, please go ahead and donate so that the grassroots message can be sent, so representation can be represented properly in Washington. Again, it impacts all of us. So whether you live in the 7th district or not, this woman becoming Congresswoman is going to impact your student loans. Okay? She's going to impact your healthcare decisions. Understand that. This is critical.
All of it.
Not to be taken lightly. This is critical. And you never know when you're going to be in that position and you're going to need someone that's going to have the same principles and values as you do. So again, we appreciate you guys for logging in. We know we're on a little bit longer tonight, but we appreciate you. We appreciate State Representative Donna McLeod. Again, visit her website. Make sure to spread the word, Donna for Congress in Georgia's 7th district. So we appreciate you guys. We're going to log off now, and I'm going to post this so everyone can, rewatch and spread the word.
And please go to vote.org or mvp.sos.ga.gov. For some reason, the Secretary of State in the state of Georgia has done some modifying on that website, and I'm very concerned about it. So we are looking into that as to why he's made those modifications. It's not as user friendly. Vote.org. So please check your status. Make sure that you're still registered to vote. You still have your registration up. If you've moved, change your address to make sure you're able to vote in the right precinct. And of course, always check to make sure that you have the information that is on your voter registration is accurate. Please make sure that. Thank you guys. We'll be talking more about that as we get closer. So.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So we'll talk to you definitely before May 2nd. We'll make sure you guys know where to go. All right. So have a good night, everyone. Thank you again, Representative McLeod. Okay. Good night.
Good night.